Welcome friends to a new chess analysis video. Oh, sorry, I have to adjust my seat here. But yes, this is game number 22, I believe, in our Road to Class A series. And this is round 2 of a Spring Swiss. A lot of you have mentioned I had issues with my audio. I still had about a dozen videos to post, but I decided to redo them to have the better quality audio for all of you. So again, I am playing Ashish Mishra, and if you guys saw my last episode, it was round 1. It was the first time where in round 1 I was actually in the top half of players and at my local club, and I was playing a lower rated player to begin with instead of playing a higher rated player because I was in the bottom half. So this was a new thing for me. So now I get to play the tournament as 1-0, and which means I get to play against all the people that have won, and then we split up based on rating. For those of you that understand a Swiss system, the top half plays the bottom half, and it goes like this. And then after everybody wins or loses, the people that won all play each other, and then the bottom half plays the top half, and then it gets paired based on black or white. And the same goes for the people that lost their games, and then all the people that drew were paired together as well. So that's kind of how the Swiss system works. If you guys want to see a video on that, I could probably do a more elegant explanation than that to show it a little bit better. But all right, let's take a look at my game with Ashish. He's 1828. I am 1652 at this point. So he plays the bird. He is a Leningrad Dutch player, so I expect that I'll get the similar types of moves from his white side bird. So I am now starting to play the Sicilian. It's the first time you're probably going to see a Sicilian for me, if I remember correctly. I don't believe I've played c5 yet. So yeah, definitely not. So this would be a first. Okay, so I am playing an O'Kelly system. Now, this is all marked as a bird system because of how he played. And to be fair, this isn't really a good representation of how a Sicilian should be played, mainly because I was kind of unclear on how to play against a bird. So I'm just going to try to my best control the center and develop how I know with the little amount of work that I've done in the Sicilian O'Kelly. So I want to try to gain as much of the center as I can. And right here we get knight to f6, which, and there's still one master game in the database, and it's marked with a4. My opponent, Ashish, did not play a4, and he played e5, putting the test to my knight. So I have two options here. I can go here or here. And here I could get met with some tactics, so I didn't really want to do that. But then also here I might get met with some other tactics. So I was really struggling with this type of scenario. And a move before, I probably should have played knight to c6 instead. That way I don't have to worry about this right now. But then it gives me some limitations on where I can actually develop my pieces. So if he does play that, my knight's kind of stuck, but I can always go here and then here. So it's possible. I think knight to c6 would have been a better play, and I think that's better for my development. But this is what we have right now. So he played here, e5, and I played knight to d5. And I'm fully expecting him to play c4 and trying to blow some things up, which I'm okay with. Is it ideal for me? Probably not. I feel as though I've already kind of messed up my opening, but I'm okay with that because I'm not really super familiar with how to play against the bird. And you know what? I'm okay with that. This is a learning game. I'm going to try to figure out how to proceed. And I learned a lot of lessons in this game, actually. So he plays c4 as I expected him to do. And here I had some ideas. I thought, well, I can take, why does that, oh, I'm sorry. B takes c4, D takes c4, and then knight b4. I thought might have been a really good, probably a better try. And he can play a3, and then I would just probably fall back and then worry about developing this knight after we do this type of move and I get castled. So it's definitely a scenario. It's probably a better way to go. I didn't do that. I came back instead. And I don't believe this is probably the best way to go because it's kind of passive. And now I guess what I could have also possibly done is come up here with the same type of scenario. And that's one thing I did not actually consider. I'm looking at the game now, and I believe that this might have been a better way to go because then I can come in here and we can get this type of move. But this was going to come. It gets a little bit complicated, to say the least. So definitely, there's definitely better ways to play. And I think the B takes c4 is probably our best option. So he played b3. So if I take the pawn, so if we play here and here, his pawn is protected. I can't take back. So which was a good move. I developed, and he played knight c3. Now right here, I should probably just castle. And this is where I get myself into a bunch of trouble because I end up not castling this game, hence the name of the video. The name of the video might change based on this, but yeah, I have some problems by not castling. You should always castle. Castle in your games. I'm on move 11. I think my idea was to go here and then castle queenside, which I thought might have been another option. And I remember during the game, and this game was played back in April of this year, so it's a little while back. I really struggled with where I wanted to castle in this game. And I remember thinking, well, if I castle kingside, he's going to push here, and he's got all his pieces kind of coming in, and I don't have any pieces over here to defend myself. So I was really strongly considering trying to get castle at queenside at this point in the game. So I played b4, essentially pushing him to a square that he wants to come to. And this was a decisive mistake, i.e. an actual blunder. I should not have played it. I should have just taken it off and did this. And I have a ton of paint here. I should have moved my knight up to c6, castle queenside, and then did a pawn side or kingside pawn storm. And this, I think, would have been probably my best way to play. And I don't see really any problems with this. The evaluation at this point in the game is like plus 3.5. So, but I mean, material-wise, I feel as though I'm doing okay. I don't feel as though there's too much to deal with. And I think that this would have been, humanly, would have been a really good way to play. I wish I would have seen this during the game because it would have caused me a lot less pain. So here, instead, I played d5, and I get into a lot of trouble. And I was going to ask if you could see the move. Unfortunately, I already gave it up, where he plays e takes d5, e takes d6 rather, and en passant. And now I get this kind of, I thought that he would just automatically exchange, and he did not. He developed a new piece. And here is now when I decided to move over or take his piece. And the evaluation is still not good. It's still plus 3.3 to white. So, and here I thought, well, why don't I just castle? But for some reason, I still had in my head about trying to castle queenside. Why, I don't know. And this would have been some potential lines. And I'm in some trouble. No matter which way I play this, I'm definitely in some trouble. So I think that this would have been a decent try. I played this first, and this is completely not a good way to play, mainly because of his next move, which at this point in the game, I've pretty much almost resigned myself to losing. Why? I don't know. Mainly because I feel as though I've completely messed up the opening, and I really haven't made any improvement into the center. And I've got these two pawns against these two pawns. He's got his bishop pair, and I feel as though it's really... I remember mentally I was struggling in this game. My emotions were getting the better of me, for sure. The game actually goes on for another 30 moves, but I really go into a fighting kind of defensive posture. I move back, he takes f6, and here I completely miss the idea of what can happen, and I'm definitely missing some things here. Yeah, he had a better move. I probably should have played bishop takes f6 and then went for this type of maneuver, like you can see here. So if his queen comes in here, I can block it. But I didn't do that. Here I'm just developing, trying to get castle queenside, not realizing, oh, I'm not going to be able to because I've made a mistake, because now he has this check. And I really don't know what the best move here is. Maybe this might be a good try so I can bring my queen over, but yeah, I'm struggling. Not a good place to be. And the game kind of is just painful from here on out. He plays queen to h5, check. And I'm like, okay, now I can maybe just kind of maneuver my king back in this hole and hope for the best, even though there might be a pin here. If I can just kind of get back over to here, maybe I'm going to do okay. That's my idea anyways, but he's got the pressure mounting with his bishop and his knight and his queen all coming in, and I'm really in a tough spot. And I'm just trying to hang on at this point. Looking at the game, I don't think I should have done anything. I should have just given up that pawn and kind of started moving that way. Keep on moving that way. Might have been a better way to go. The move that the engine likes best is to play rook a7, which I find to be very interesting. And then we get this type of scenario. And I have to give it up in exchange, and that's not good either. So maybe this isn't the best. That is the best engine line, but I don't really like it. And now you can look, and this is just absolutely crazy pandemonium. I am in so much trouble at this point. I think I got what I wanted, which was getting my pawn and getting this outpost here. But he's got so much pressure coming in with his queen and his knight and his bishop and his rooks that it is really difficult to defend. With really decent play, I have no way of stopping this. So let's kind of see how it continues, because there's about 20 moves left, which you would think, oh, well, how is there 20 moves left? Because I feel like this is going to get really bad. And I get out of some things and I make a little bit of headway, but things are really not looking good. And that's probably not the best move. I think this would have been my best try. And this is a crazy engine line that came up. And I feel as though maybe this is okay. It's still very difficult, and white is up a pawn, and it's in an open game. He's got two bishops versus two knights. It's not looking very good for black right now. So that is the best engine line, but it's still, there's no way I can play that. So I think to myself, well, if I can get these doubled passed pawns, or these protected passed pawns, maybe I'll have a chance if I can get them close enough to queening. However, I totally missed this move, and it's just painful at this point. So, and now we take a look at the position. I've got 2 rooks for a queen and a knight for a bishop, and my pawn structure is completely hosed. I feel as though I've played really good fighting chess after my blunder, but it's just not enough to hang on. And the rest of the game is pretty difficult at this point. So let's kind of continue on. And I'm going to kind of buzz through it because there's not a lot of value to show here because it's very, very difficult to kind of progress at all. And I really try my best to make some progression here, and I just can't. He's got this pass pawn, and I can't stop it. Now, my idea with, some moves are, I'm trying to get this. I've got this here. I'm trying to get this open and try to get an interesting checkmate. And unfortunately, his pawn is just too far past for me to try to get through. And I'm trying my best to make the best moves I can. And here, if my king wasn't on this square, I feel as though maybe I could have gotten a draw because I'm going to pick this pawn up. Let's say my king was here. I might be able to pick some of these pawns up because these 2 can be easily stopped by this one as long as I get it here. And I can get my king into the game. It might be drawish, but he'd have to make some mistakes. But after this, it's game over. So a really good game from my opponent. He played extremely well. I played fighting chess, and I'm very proud of this game, even though I was on the complete defensive. But I kept trying and trying to make complications and cause problems for my opponent the best I could. And sometimes it just doesn't go through. Your opponent's too tough and you can't through it. But I think the main issue here was I did not know enough of the opening to middle game plans to know how to progress against the bird. And not getting castled was a major factor. I should have probably played this a little bit differently from this position. I know that positionally I'm probably still behind quite a bit because it is +3. But if we go back to where I made my mistake, which was here, and this was my major blunder of the game, it's kind of interesting to see. If I had not played that move, I think maybe I could just castle or develop and then castle, and I think it's still a game. Just playing simple chess instead of trying to fight for the center right now, because this is a long-term weakness for now. He has to develop a few pieces to get the ability to push that. Actually, he could just push it right now, but I feel as though you still have to prove it. I feel like this could have also been a potential try. And yeah, I missed some ideas here, unfortunately. And that's okay. If we go to the computer analysis, you guys should be able to see here. He played 95% accurate. Actually, you guys can't see. So he played 95% accurately. He had 2 inaccuracies. And having 1 mistake and 1 blunder in the game, I played 91% accurate. So overall, I can't be too upset about this game. I played fighting chess, and I made him earn the win. So I feel pretty proud about that. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is the best way to help me grow, and it is the best way to support my channel. It helps so much, a lot more than you can. And if you can leave comments or you have questions about this game, leaving those comments is also super helpful. So check out my Discord, check out my other social medias. My links are all in the description and things like that. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Take care and have a great day.